where that thing moves again, I get irritated. All right. So now I changed the chart to what I like to see because this is, to me, a more accurate chart. So you see how when I had it on 12 sign, I don't know if you guys noticed, his rising was in Pisces and all that. But now that I changed it, his rising is in Aquarius. His sun, which is right here, that yellow thing, you guys probably can't see that well. That is his sun. Let me see if I can move it in. There we go. I don't know if you guys can see that right there. That's his sun, and it's in Aquarius. So what I can tell you guys off the top about him, his sun is in the 12th house. This is funny. They call this the serial killer placement in astrology. I'm not saying that you're a serial killer. It's just called this because a lot of serial killers actually have this placement. The reason why they say that is because you guys don't have a lot of ego. This is the placement of people who do not have a very big ego. This is actually the placement of people who tend to get like pushed around a little bit because you guys don't really assert yourself too much over other people. This usually has something to do with like fatherhood wounds and things like that, either father being absent or just not as strong in your life. So your ego is not as predominant. This also makes you like afraid of a lot of things, especially being seen. You know what I'm saying? You like to hide away. You don't like to be out in public. You might have like anxiety about being in like large spaces, public places, or stage fright. This definitely is like big stage fright. Like you would have big problems with like public speaking and things like that with this house placement. Usually people like this have a hard time getting out of their comfort zone because this is literally the 12th house represents hidden spaces. It represents the subconscious. And this is where you guys like to stay kind of hidden. So that's going to be something that's always going to be an issue for you that you're really going to have to work on. But the good thing about this is you're technically an Aquarius. Aquarius people don't really need the spotlight like that. Like you guys tend to get it. True Aquarius people are like Rihanna, Erykah Badu, Justin Bieber. You know, you guys get the attention, but you don't really need it because you guys are like air versions of Leos. So you get the attention, but Rihanna is not the same as Beyonce. We both know Beyonce kind of likes the fame. Rihanna actually doesn't care either way. She's more about the business side of things. She's more about the humanitarian aspect of things. And I'm not saying that Beyonce isn't, but Rihanna is just a little bit more different in that way. These people tend to not live their life as open in the public. We'll probably never know who Rihanna winds up with, really, like that type of shit. Like, you know, you guys are more hidden with your life. We have no idea where Erykah Badu lives. I don't think anybody knows where she lives or has any idea where she lives. It's like that type of life. You guys are actually very private. You guys like to let your art speak for itself. So you guys are really more about your art being known than yourself. So it's not too bad. It would be a harder placement if you were trying to do a lot in the public. Now, like, don't get me wrong, you might wind up there, but it's not like you don't care too much about the fame. If the fame was to go away, it doesn't matter. But if people remembered your art, that would be okay for you. So not too bad. With the North Node, I like to go to the North Node. This is the life path, which is up here, and it's in Scorpio. So this means that, again, there's a lot of hidden shit. Like you would definitely be into the occult. Okay. It's in your 9th house. It's up here. So you would actually be someone who might be initiated into some sort of mystery school. But you would probably be very like quiet about this. This wouldn't be something that you were really open with because of the North Node here. There's like an aspect of you kind of having a secret life, like a double life. Like you could have a very practical, business-oriented life and then be into like some serious mystical shit in your nighttime hours. Okay, this is definitely a double agent. I'm just saying it is, but it's cool. It's cool because you could make a lot. You could actually you don't have to be secretive about it. You could actually teach other people with this 9th house. This makes you a great mystical teacher, a great shaman. So if you ever were to be initiated or to get into these occult things, you would be a great teacher. So it's not saying you have to hide it, but you might have the tendency to do that, like have secret things, like no shit that you don't tell anybody about. It's going to be very secret. Again, Midhaven and Ophiuchus. Ophiuchus is the sign that is omitted from our zodiac that nobody cares about. But if it was not for Ophiuchus, we would not even been doing any of this, because Ophiuchus is about healing. This is at the top of your chart. So you're naturally a healer. But this means it could come out in different ways. It means you have gifted hands. So does it mean you have to be into spirituality? Not necessarily. You can be into other things. Why? It was going fine. It was working fine. Hold on, guys. It's acting up again. Hold on. All right. You could be into anything using your hands, honestly. I know you like to cook. That is one thing that I gathered so far. So that makes sense because it's using your hands, but you don't have to stop there. You could definitely get into Reiki with that placement here. You could even be into nursing. Like you could even be into the medical field. Anything that has to do with healing, it's at the top of your chart. So it's very important. You're a spiritual teacher, though. Like you're someone who needs to teach. Okay. Like Sagittarius is at the top of your chart. You need to teach, especially let's say you are into cooking. You'd be like a great head chef. You would be a great teacher in cooking. So you need to teach. And I've heard that before. Yeah. Yeah, it's up here, right here, 10th house, Sagittarius. That's you. Now let's talk about this moon. Oh, moon in Virgo. No wonder you like to cook. Okay. Moon in Virgo people like to cook, but you also may want to get into like health cooking, like vegan shit, vegetarian shit, because you have a Virgo moon. So you actually would like to get into purifying the body. So smoothies, you know, that type of stuff will make you, because it's in your 8th house. People will pay you for vegan stuff, like to learn about your vegan cooking. Again, another teacher placement. Moon and Virgo people are, again, teachers, natural healers, natural givers, natural empaths. Very empathic chart. Like you have a very empathic chart. Relationships. Whew. Now, the funny thing is you're more quiet and chill, but your person is going to be more eccentric. Like your person is going to be artist type. They might like to be in the public eye more than you. You're going to be more of the one who likes to kind of chill. You know what? You'll need a lot of attention in your relationships. You don't need attention from people, but in your relationships, you like to be the center of attention. You're going to need a lot of attention from your partner. So if you're with anybody who's like super emotionally unavailable, that's going to be a struggle for you. Because you actually like your attention comes out in your what we call the dark side. This is your descendant. This is who you are when no one's looking or in intimate relationships. So once people know you, people will be like, oh, he ain't shy, or oh, he ain't this, when people know you. So that's Leo energies coming up in your 7th house. So you're going to probably be attracted to people who have authoritative type of energy, very authoritative type of people, dominant type of people. These people might even come off a little narcissistic, I'm not going to lie, but it would work for you. I mean, it would work for you as long as they're willing to give you the attention as well. Like you guys may be very flashy together. This is a couple that likes to walk in. You both have like fucking Armani suits or some shit. You know what I mean? This is like Mr. and Mrs. Smith energy right here in your relationship. So you need someone who's very they have their shit together. You cannot be with somebody that you necessarily have to carry. But I see a very giving relationship. You guys are going to like to be around each other. This is like a very nurturing relationship. It does have its like showboaty energy, but I feel like in intimate relationships, there is a lot of, like I said, empathy. So I would say with this, you might be attracted to Virgos or people who have strong Virgo placements. They don't have to be Virgos, but they can have like 12 sign Virgo placements, like a Virgo Jupiter or something like that. But let me see where your Juno is. Oh, your Juno's in Pisces. So you could be actually attracted to Pisces, but these would be maybe Pisces who are later in March. February's, I don't know. February, I'm going to be honest, because Februaries are up in here, and that's when we start to get to the 12th house. And this is when this person is going to be really exposing a lot of your subconscious fear. So if you want somebody who's going to like irk you because they're constantly triggering you in ways that you have no idea why. And they and they do. Yes, like February Pisces are going to trigger you from places like childhood shit, like shit you don't even remember why you're triggered, but they trigger you. Now March ones, you know, they would be good for you. March ones, I'm with it. Like March 16th, And even in sidereal astrology, Pisces actually goes until April. The people who think they're Aries, like fucking Mariah Carey, who's a goddamn Pisces. Like, let's stop kidding ourselves. She's not an Aries. We got Chris Brown, that's an Aries, without a doubt. But Mariah Carey is not an Aries, okay? So those type of people, even Aprils would be good because they think they're Aries, but like they're really Pisceans. Right. So those people would be good. But I would say if you're going to mess with a Pisces, it would be a March Pisces for me because they're actually very healing for you. They actually will teach you a lot about yourself. Yeah, you even have a Venus in Pisces. It's funny. Somebody asked me about this placement. This is the choosy lover placement. Like I said, these are people who only want to be with people that they have spiritual connections with, you know, deep spiritual connections. So you're not really going to bond with people if you don't feel spiritually connected with them. But you need to protect yourself because you're a giver. Like there's a lot of energy of you being a very big giver in your energy. Like even with, especially with the sun, you have no ego. Like you will be run all over. Not saying you're weak because you have an Aquarius sun, so it makes you strong, but I'm saying like you can be taken advantage of very easily because you're very giving, especially with this universal love, this damn Venus and Pisces. She loves to be here. I mean, you can make very good money with this placement, especially when you get into spirituality. Okay. But you need to protect yourself because narcissists would love you. Okay. Just saying, you probably already ran into that issue, but I'm just saying. Saturn in Gemini, you have an issue with communication in your upbringing, like when you were, you know, being raised. You weren't really allowed to communicate as much. I don't know if you were raised like your parents were old school or something, but there was a lot about you not being able to speak up or really communicate the way that you wanted to as a child. And that is still an issue for you here and now. So you need to communicate. Saturn is in Gemini and it's in retrograde. Okay, I have a Saturn retrograde. This is why I'm 30 years old and I act like I'm 50. The Saturn retrograde people, we are activated more because we've already done this before and we didn't achieve what we were meant to achieve. So you're doing this again, essentially. So get out of your comfort zone. You need to talk more. Like you literally have said 3 words on this whole live. Like that's what I mean, which is fine. But I can just tell you're not a talker. So that's what I'm saying. You need to start communicating. You need to get on blogs. You need to start like vlogging, like communicating, because there's something here about you not using your voice and it needs to be heard. Saturn is in the place of communication. And you'll start to like it. You'll feel a lot more free when you express yourself more. Your relationships will be better. You will understand people more because there's a lot of alien energy. Like you're like an angelic being. So you're not really used to human interaction a lot, especially with this Venus and Pisces. You're very angelic. This is like musician energy, astrologer energy, you know, very high realms of thought, amethyst type of energy, like high vibrating crown chakra. So you need to come back down to the throat chakra, learn how to deal with humans in communication, love. You need to get more attachment. I don't know what's up with the mom or something. There's something here about lack of communication or just attachment to people. So there's a need to work on your communication on a day-to-day basis with people. It's just like you're super smart. You're just, your energy, your soul is very high vibrational. So it's just learning how to talk to people like, hey, how are you doing? Or, you know, talk to people on a regular day-to-day basis, but also I think getting into something where you use your voice, like teaching, will be amazing for you. It will help you get this Saturn under control. Trying to see anything else. Career-wise, like I said, teaching, anything to do with the occult, anything to do with spirituality is your game because it will definitely help you financially. Money will really come easily when you get into spirituality, like doing money work. And even teaching about it. You don't necessarily have to practice it, but you can teach it. Let me see, anything else? Yes, 6th house, freaking Cancer, you better be cooking. Yes, yes. Okay, I love it. Yes, Cancer, 6th house. You work best from home. Yeah, I do. You need a home-based business. So don't work for anybody else. And if you do work remotely, you do best from working from home. Yes. With the Cancer 6th house here. But there's also a need to make sure you're taking care of your body because Cancer 6th house people tend to like food a lot. So, you know, that's just something you need to, you know, watch. We're emotional eaters as Cancerian people. So just watch that. But honestly, other than the communication, studying business, you would definitely love to study business and get really deep into business, maybe even mentor people about business. Needing to travel outside the country. You might even be somebody who winds up living outside the country with these energies right here. Like you might like it abroad more than where you're from. Yeah, because you don't, there's something about where you're from that you don't really connect with. Like I'm not, yeah. So you're somebody who is not a homebody. The more you travel, I think the more you will start to get into this spiritual energy and this stuff will start to get activated more. But honestly, your chart isn't too, I mean, no chart is bad, but if you're already cooking, that means you're already activated. We just we gotta work on that communication, because you brought cooking over from a past life. You've already done that. So now we need to do other things with that. Cooking, but okay, are you the head chef and are you teaching? Are you cooking with, you got sous chefs and people under you, that if you're going to be cooking, you know what I'm saying? But I would definitely say anything that has to do with teaching. Okay. So, yeah, I didn't want to like get too deep because I wanted you to ask any questions if you have any questions, and I kind of wanted to give you guys an idea of what it looks like to get your chart read. But do you have any questions for me while you have me?
No real questions. I know you have a couple different weird points. One, especially in early on, talking about that connection. You know, you hit home on quite a few places. What I did not know and was curious about was the community part. Also, because I do like to talk, but I am, kind of, it comes down to the big, and I definitely behind the scenes up front. So I think that was a thing there. But the food teaching part, I was impressed about because a lot of people have said that to me recently. I just wasn't sure about the part where you said vegan, because I'm definitely not a healthy cook. But I think that's interesting to get into.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to stay in that. It's just a suggestion because you have Virgo part of fortune. So even if you don't, let's say, get into the vegan side, I say it is because of the market. There's a market for it, very much so. So when there's a market, don't make it hard for yourself. I'm always about that. But also, if you don't want to necessarily get into veganism, you need to grow your own food. Like grow
Really?
your vegetables. Yeah, because then you're still using that Virgo energy. And then you can even build off of that, having farm fresh, stuff like right from garden to table, like that stuff will really help you. Fresh
Wow.
peppers, fresh tomatoes. So if you don't want to do the veggie side of it, which I think you should just dabble, just cause you make a couple chef ebooks, whatever, just to have that market. Like I said, don't miss the market. You don't have to stay there, but then do your own farming. Do your own, even if you grow your own herbs, like you use parsley, grow parsley, you use cilantro, grow cilantro. That will help with the healthy side of things because your moon is in Virgo. And there might be something there with that. I haven't really looked at your aspect, so maybe because your moon is your mom, so it really depends on your relationship with your mom, and how much you got of that. But I would say then use that because that is the creative side of things. And then when you using the cooking, that can tie into it. But I can break your chart down in so many. I'd be here all night because this is the thing I love to do more than anything. So, but I would say do that. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, go ahead.
Definitely hit a lot of points. You hit a whole lot of points, a lot of things. And, I'm impressed.
Well, awesome. I thank you for doing this with me so much, you guys. I know I kind of just rambled on, but this is what I do when I do people's charts. When I go into it, I break down what they need to know. And of course, if you guys want one, you can always go to the link tree in the bio and book your natal chart reading. And I do something very similar to this. Okay. So I want to say thank you, Nate. And I'm going to get off of here, guys. And I will talk to y'all tomorrow for Freaky Friday, okay?
And thank you so much. I actually have a couple friends that I saw in the comments, so I hope they will.
Awesome.
I
Well,
hope they
send them
will book you
over.
after this. So,
I hope so too.
all
All
right.
right.
Talk to you
Bye.
soon. All right. Good night.